Welcome back to another episode of our Eagle Perspective podcast. I'm Mike Siciliano, Dean of Students of the Upper School. I'm joined today, of course, by the head honcho of Santa Fe Christian Schools.
Hi, Mike.
Mr. Rod Gilbert.
Hi, Mike.
Thanks for being back.
Glad to be here.
And our Director of Admissions, Linda Howes. First time on the podcast.
That's true.
We're thrilled to have you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So we're going to talk a little bit about admissions today, but I'd love to just actually introduce you a bit to our audience first, because you started here as a parent.
I did.
Correct.
Yes.
I got to coach your son a long time ago.
Yeah,
In a different
long
world,
time ago.
Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's how old now?
My son is 30.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Okay.
You've not changed, though.
I just dated myself quite a bit, though.
I dated
If you
myself.
have a 30-year-old son.
I do. Our family came to San Diego in 2006, and we found Santa Fe Christian just by doing a Google search. We didn't know anything of the school. So we scheduled a tour in 2006, and basically we planned to move close to wherever school we landed in. Cool. We toured Santa Fe, and our boys, their eyes just lit up when they saw the football field, the broadcast studio. But for me, I really wanted to just learn the heart of the school. And our tour guide at the time was Julie Tim, and she was in the admissions
Do you know
office.
Julie?
I do, yeah. Julie, you took Julie's job when she moved on.
I did take Julie's job, but she toured and she really shared the heart of Santa Fe, and who I really wanted to know who would be influencing my children. That was really important to me. And coming from North Carolina, we really wanted to land in a community where we could feel at home. So Julie shared all of that with me, and my heart was really filled by the time we left this tour. I thought, this is a school for our family for sure. And Julie ended up becoming one of my very best friends. I mean, our relationship continued, and our family was very happy here. So I've been working at the school since 2007, so a long time in the admissions office, and I love it. I love the community, and that's the reason I stay, honestly.
Yeah, and so I actually want to get into, because you didn't start even in admissions, if I remember correctly, right?
I did start in admissions part-time, and I also worked in the academic support program with Katie Pratt.
Okay, right. And then when Julie moved on... Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
know. She's a multi-talented person here. So anyway, Julie left. You stepped into her role.
I did.
And I know you did that. You did that for a number of years.
For 9 years, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
I semi-retired. Well, I actually did retire.
Yeah.
For 4 years, and honestly, it's just, it's really God that brought me back. I mean, that's really the truth. It's too long of a story to tell how I came back and how it all worked out that I've been in admissions again, and now I'm the director. But this is my second year as a director of admissions, and I absolutely love it. I actually love it more today than I did when I first started working in admissions, and there's a lot of reasons, but I think I really believe in the leadership, and I know the staff, and it's easy to do my job because I really I truly believe in the school, and so it's not even like I'm coming to work, to be honest with you. I'm just coming to be with people I love every day.
That's awesome.
That's
I
great
love
testimony.
that. And pretty cool that, I mean, your first experience here was through admissions, and now you're kind of the steward of that process.
I know, yeah.
So
She's the front door.
She is absolutely the front door.
It's a privilege, honestly. It really is.
Yeah,
it
well,
really
you do it very well.
Thank you.
And let's talk about what that process is like. So if you're a family who's never, this is their first time ever even hearing about Santa Fe Christian, what should they do and what can they expect?
Well, really, it starts out, we have people that come to us by email, phone calls. A lot of times we take phone calls, or people schedule a tour. But honestly, it's the relationship, and it's like the phone call comes, and it's the start of our relationship with them. And so what I like to do is just encourage them to fill out the inquiry form that's online, and then come see us, come take a tour, and kind of learn who we are, because when they come and they take a tour, that's when they really can see who we are as a school. And it's important that we share exactly who we are, because we are really distinct from other private schools in a lot of ways. And it's important that we are able to share that with them. And I think by coming on campus, they really do learn that. So that's kind of the process. We are we welcome them, we encourage them, and we support them through their time in our department.
Yeah. You mentioned some of the distinctions between us and other private schools. And obviously there are some awesome other private schools around town. But what are some of those distinctions that make us different, that if someone comes and takes a tour, they're going to see or they're going to notice or you're going to make real evident to them?
Yeah, I think for us, I mean, obviously we're a Christian school, and so, but we're not just a Christian school, we're a covenant Christian school. Maybe Rod, do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure. So the covenant Christian school is where at least one parent has to be a evangelical Christian, active church participation. And so that is a distinction than a missional school. Some Christian schools would be non-covenantal, and so the parents don't have to be Christians. But back in '77, when the school was founded, we were there to partner with Christian families, and so we make it real clear on the front end that we are partnering with your Christian mentorship at home. You're already doing it at home, and so we're going to be a subcontractor with you. But you have to demonstrate that you're a growing Christian family.
Right. And I think the term that we often use is mission match.
Yeah, mission
Right.
match. Yeah,
And,
we want them to be an asset for our Christian convictions, and we want to be an asset to their home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of to Linda's point about distinctions, when you come here for that first tour and that first, I mean, I think like some families will actually self-select out.
They
That's
do.
true.
Because they realize
do.
pretty quickly, you know, this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Back home in North Carolina, we used to say there were Christian schools where they had a Bible verse on the gate, but it wasn't really part of the curriculum or conviction. It's just historical Southern schools. And here it's on the gate. It's part of who we are. It's deep in the DNA.
Right.
And so there are families that'll hear the reputation of the school.
Right.
And then they'll go, this may not be, oh, you really meant it.
Yeah.
Oh, you really meant it.
Right.
And well, they're kind. Like we've never had someone
They
be upset.
are, and I
But
love
they go,
that.
wow, we're really not a good fit here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great. And I think going through the process, they realize that we are very thorough. It is a lengthy admissions process in a way. And so I think a lot of the parents really appreciate that fact because they feel like we've gone through all these steps, and I can say to them, yes, and a family 10 years ago went through the exact same steps to come to our school.
Didn't someone bring that up to you recently?
They
Like
did.
we did a new parent survey and got feedback from them. But
They did, and they actually I had an email the other day just saying thank you so much for the process, and they enjoyed walking through it. They enjoyed their interview, and how the vision and the mission of the school is really entrenched in who we are.
Yeah. So maybe share a little bit more about the specific steps in the process. So you come, you take a tour, you fill an inquiry,
Yeah,
and then it's a decent amount of work.
It is.
You gotta want to
I
come.
know you do.
It's
And
more
that's
than signing up for Little League Baseball.
Yeah. I mean, I've now gone through it twice, and I can say it's exhausting sometimes.
I
Well,
know.
we had questions about you.
Believe me, I heard them. I heard them. So
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, so that's true. Even if you're a current family,
Yep.
You will go through
Right.
the same exact process once again.
Yeah.
And so it is. It's an online application, which is easier than it was in the past. So everything is online, and there are teacher recommendations. There are a pastor recommendation as part of our process as well, and then report cards, and there's also an entrance exam for every grade. Family interview is at the end, which is a really great time for you to get to know. Typically, it's with our principal or assistant principals, and that's a really great time to have extra questions answered. And
Are they nervous sometimes?
they are
It is.
nervous.
Why do you think they're nervous?
I think it's just a
'Cause-
matter of like having your family you feel as though your family is under the microscope and being judged, which is really not the case. It's really, it's a two-way street in this whole process. I mean, you're getting to know us to find out, is this the right fit for your family? And we're getting to know you. So I think it's not a time to be nervous, but I understand why they are. I remember, I'll just say, in our family interview,
Were you nervous?
I was nervous because I have boys and they're a year apart, and they were very squirrely at the time. And my youngest, they asked, do you have any questions? And his question
How old was he?
he was 12. He asked, what does it take to get a detention? Truly. And so I
great question.
kicked
That's
him.
an important question.
You want to
Yeah.
know on the way in where the line is.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I
You needed
respect
to know?
that.
Yeah, yeah. And so I kind of kicked him under the table and was like, no.
Did you think all was lost after that?
No, you know what? He was delightful, but it's just, that was just the funniest.
That's brilliant. That's
So,
brilliant.
Rod, one thing I want to ask
Sure.
you, I mean, we have obviously lots of staff here, and we've had heads before you, and everybody's done a great job and been very
they
intentional
have.
in this process.
They
But
have.
But you seem to really value this process a lot. Like I see you'll always stop and talk with prospective families.
Everybody
get to know them.
Yeah.
Make yourself available. I mean, sometimes you're late to your other meetings. I'm not complaining. It's a factual statement.
I always blame
because
other things.
You want to meet the prospective families. Why,
I do.
Why is
I
it
do.
so important to you?
I think it's twofold. One, biblically speaking, anybody that visits the campus should experience true hospitality. And I think, like, if I did a smile count on campus, like, I see smiles all the time. And so if it's someone's first time on the campus, they may have a perception of what a Christian school may feel like. So I think I just want to meet them just to show them true hospitality. And I think the second thing is everybody's being interviewed the entire time. And I don't mind if that makes the cut in the video. Like, if I'm getting to know them, it's important that we're getting to know them as they walk and as they go. I mean, it's how we do our interviews for employees as well. It's the relationship aspect that's a very important part. And for me, I care enough about a family to ask the heart question of, is Santa Fe really the next natural step of the development of their little home? Right. Like, and if we are, then I think that we're going to be a great benefit to their home and to their marriage and to how they parent. And if we're not, then I think it would be a disservice to them to let them in.
Right.
And so I the role that I play is being part of the person saying, no, this is not the right fit at this time. And maybe in a year or two it might be.
Yeah. You mentioned sometimes you use the term can't serve academically. Like there are families that maybe academically it's not a fit. What do you mean by that?
Well, we have academic criteria. So, for example, grade point average wise, they have to have a 2.7 or above, and they have to be performing at grade level or above. We have a great academic support program, but it serves only mild to moderate learning differences.
So there are some cases where there might be a significant learning challenge, and we're not resourced.
We're
for
just
that.
not equipped to do it.
I just can't. I know that's really hard to say to a family.
That's a very hard phone call.
I would say a second delta that we're seeing just in the last couple of years is COVID. So we have these amazing families where the young one just got lost in some system they were in. Yeah. And if they got lost too far in the system, then they're so far off grade level that there are times where we say we can't make up that delta.
Right.
And so we recommend go through some tutoring services for a year or two. And,
that's true. And then they can come back through the process.
Yeah,
again.
and we have that as a success story as well.
Rod, you also used the term ambassadors a bit ago.
Oh, yeah.
When you were so who are ambassadors? How do you get to be an ambassador? What role do they play in this process?
So Linda recruits a team of amazing parents, veteran parents to first-year parents, right?
That's true.
You always try to have a few new parents, and they help conduct the tours, and they put a real face to the tour. So we do group tours Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and we do a little opening part, and then the mom or dad takes them on the 1-hour tour, asks them about their family, finds out what their little tender spots are. Everybody wants to brag about their kid.
Yeah.
And so it's a time for the ambassador to say, please tell me all about your child, as they're just walking around. And we have a beautiful campus, but that's not why we're here. And it's part of the tour. It's important. But the ambassador is really giving them a chance to say, here's how great my family is. And they love it.
Yeah.
They really get them talking about their kids. And it frees them up. And it makes it, I think far more personalized than large group big meetings. I think I like the touch.
It's very authentic too. I think it's real time. It's a mom. I'm relating to a mom, or even we have dads. We have a couple of dad ambassadors, and the families really appreciate that because we can tell them all the best parts about Santa Fe, but to hear from a parent that's actually living it
that's
right
volunteering.
now,
that's
it's so great.
Yeah, taking the time
the
out of their own
ambassador
day
has
to
a
do
seventh
it.
grader, and they've got a seventh grader.
We
they
pair
want
them
in.
up, exactly.
Then they can say, what's it really like in seventh grade? And the mom will say, well, here's what my kid did last week, and it puts some more
It's great, but watch out for Siciliano. You want to
exactly.
I'm just leveling with you. Yeah. So it's pretty fun to see those tours, walking around, and I think the families get also just a little slice of the spirit of this place, of the interactions between the ambassador and all the people that they meet. I mean, it's kind of fun.
I mean, the ambassador's child will pop over
and
say, hey, Mom. So all of that happens. And that also gives the people that are touring a sense of our community, the students that are here and sort of the feel. I mean, it is a small town feel in a way at the school, I think.
Yeah, I would say in the upper school, if a kid sees their parent giving a tour, they'll go like hide in the
Yeah,
bush.
that's very normal.
Just different
What are you
phase.
doing?
But
The older the child, the more they avoid the people on campus. Kindergartners grab mom by the leg.
that's right. Yeah, my daughter's
it's
still
different.
giving me a hug every morning. I'm
Yeah.
like, this. I maybe
So
get like a
great.
year of this left before
pre-puberty.
Yeah.
They'll avoid you like the plague.
Right.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give a prospective family who's thinking about applying? And I know they're listening or watching, and they're thinking like, okay, how do I put my best foot forward?
Yeah.
And it's and I'm always like, you don't have to put your best foot forward.
agree.
Just put a foot forward.
Yeah.
But what advice would
Yeah.
you give them?
I would just say, come experience our community. I think that is a big deal instead of knowing who we are. So, come to a football game, come to a play, take a tour, come to an event that we have. We've hosted an expo this year. Was our first time for the upper school, which was,
That was
really
great.
it was really great. And then we've had several meet the principal chats, and that was a great way to get to know kind of the hearts, for example, of the middle school. Dr. DeVoe and Christy Ellis, they did a real intimate. There were probably 50 people that attended, but they could ask their questions, and that is a great way to get to know our school as well. So I would say immerse yourself into our community as much as you can, because then you will really get to know if this is what you're looking for, if your family will fit here, and this is what you want for your children.
So families come, they've taken a tour.
Yeah.
They're about ready to leave. What's usually their feedback? What questions do they have? What's that experience like?
Yeah, a lot of times their feedback is they think it's a beautiful school. I mean, they're in awe of the beauty of the campus, for one, but they love going into the classrooms and seeing the way the teachers interact with the students. I think when we talk about the mentorship model, which Rod shares a lot at the beginning of our tours, they really see it in action just by going into the classrooms. Doug Miller, our athletic director, also talks with us down on the athletic field. So they see the fields and they see all of the different ways their child could engage at Santa Fe, whether it be in athletics or the missions trips or academically speaking. They can see the engagement, and then they learn about how we share Christ's love with our students and how that is interwoven into every single thing that we do. And I think that turns a light on, because that's a question that they often ask. They ask us, how do we integrate the Bible into our daily academics, our students' life? And I think the point about that is that it's like everything that we are. So there's not an aspect of anything on this campus that's not infused with Jesus. So
that is a really good point.
Yeah.
I think a lot of families come expecting sort of like normal school with like chapel.
right.
And a Bible class.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
And
they leave.
They check the boxes as well. Okay.
Right. Like
That-
they're
that's actually
separate
not-
things, right?
Right.
And that's not how we operate.
No,
No.
you don't operate that way as a coach or dean.
Right.
And
Right.
there are over 150 employees. We all function as ministers of the gospel in
Right.
accordance with our convictions. And so when they ask the question, how does it integrate? We say, well, it really integrates everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like every single employee, every single aspect of the school. And of course, you have the accoutrements of a weekly chapel, Bible classes, and all
Right.
that. But that's sort of just the beginning. It
Right.
really is
Yes.
every single thing that we do.
Which
Yeah.
will both scare some people away.
Right. That's exactly right.
And then
Yeah.
other people leave feeling like, oh my gosh, this
Yes.
is way more faith centric, and I'm thrilled by that, right? And that's a healthy part of the process
Right.
on both sides of that.
And that aspect came up in the new parent survey this year. Linda and her team added did y'all do it in December? Like the new parent survey?
Yeah, I think it was
It was
December.
like we asked the first year families 10 or 12 questions like, were we as we appeared to be?
Yeah.
And the overwhelming response was the marketing and recruitment, how we talked about the school fit
Yeah.
what they experienced
Yeah,
first
what their
semester,
experience.
which was amazing
Yeah.
and solid for us. It gave us good feedback on the comments. It was affirming to me that we were doing as we say we were going to do.
Yeah.
And like, would they recommend the school to their friends? It was a
Yeah.
very high score. And so
We don't want someone showing up and feeling like the reality
Yeah,
is
bait
different
and
than what
switch.
they got.
Yeah.
I think the hard work of the team the last few years and the board and principals to get our value statements written to that prayer journal,
Yeah.
it's really becoming a internal DNA scripting that we're all we're all we're doubling down on the values that are core that we've known for years. We just haven't written down the
Yes.
space. So
Yeah.
I can hear the ambassadors quoting
Yes.
some of those value
Yeah.
statements. So it's becoming the common ground that it's not changed, but the fact that we can see it on a sheet of paper affirms it. It's getting us in the similar language, and
Right.
I think that's working well.
Yeah. Okay, what is your favorite moment of the admissions process?
Oh gosh, easy. The best moment is when we make personal phone calls at the, we have admissions committee, and then a week later we actually make personal phone calls to accept students for the upcoming fall. And so those phone calls are amazing. I mean, we have tears, people are screaming. It's the best. We spend probably a whole entire day because we have quite a few applicants that we go through.
Yeah.
But it's awesome.
And
yeah.
then what about 30 seconds, 45 seconds in, you ask if they want to be an ambassador?
Yeah, exactly.
We were recruiting some yesterday.
There we go.
Yeah, new family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So,
Yeah.
so you mentioned the beauty of the campus a couple times, which, we have this amazing new building. I mean, it really, and I would say to people listening who haven't been on campus yet in the last year, it's incredible.
It is.
So along with that, we're getting more questions now about, are you trying to grow the school? Are you trying to make the school bigger, add numbers? So, Rod, I guess for you, how do we manage this,
Sure.
the growth, the increased numbers? Are we trying to get bigger? I get that question a lot.
I do too. And first off, we'll never be more than 1,100 because we've agreed with the city for safety and pedestrians and whatnot. More importantly, when we model out with the finance committee parents years out in the future, I like the number around 1060, 1070 financially because it helps keep pressure off of this team from feeling like they have to fill seats. And so the finance committee is equally interested that it's mission match. And so as the head and chair of the admissions committee, it's important that it's mission match over fill seats. And so if we can always maintain our growth in accordance with the convictions, that's 1,000 times more important than fill seats. And so they never feel the pressure that they have to fill, but we get to fill.
We do.
And so there's no quota on her
Right.
or the team or the principals. And so that's actually coming from the board of directors, the parents and the finance committee. Every single group around me is aligned that it's more important to grow with conviction than it is numbers. And that I cannot tell you how freeing that is.
It is.
As a head of
Yeah.
school, that's what the community wants.
Yeah, and to hit on your first point a little bit too, I think it's good for people to know we're not trying to make the school bigger.
No,
Right.
no.
Philosophically,
No.
we want the small class
Yeah,
sizes.
we like
want
it.
the personalization. So
Yeah.
any campus projects are not. I think people just assume you're always trying to grow.
I know.
That's
Yeah.
not the
It's
goal
true.
of
We're enhancing that which
Enhancing,
is.
yes.
Like those cute little bungalows were built in 1938. They served an amazing purpose, and then you and I got to watch them be tore down a few years ago.
Yeah,
Now
we
we have a
did.
beautiful building.
We had different reactions to that
I
moment,
know.
I
I
had a little
bet.
bit of the pang of so many memories in that,
Yeah.
crazy, awful room.
They served a good purpose, and at the same time, the buildings were just to enhance that which we already do,
Yeah.
not to grow bigger.
Yeah.
And so that I like when I'm in my 5th year here. I can't tell you how I don't feel any stress to grow.
Yeah.
Because the vision is to graduate students that we've partnered with their parents to turn them into Christian leaders for tomorrow. And so it's a very different mission than just max out the space. Yeah.
All right, Linda, last question.
Yes.
So you've now, nearing on 20 years of some kind of relationship with the school. Your kids are graduated. I mean, your youngest is 30, so they've been gone a long time.
They have.
But you've chosen to be here, to be
Yeah.
the admissions director. So what is it about Santa Fe that has you coming back? What does this place mean to you that you're willing to invest so much into it still?
Well, that's a great question. For me, honestly, this is my family. This is community to me. This is people that I love, people that I trust, people that I am happy to say are my friends. And I think that Santa Fe, the reason that I invest my time in here, again, and I had said this before, but I really believe in the school. I believe in everything that we say. And I see the teachers, and I see you too, and I think, gosh, wouldn't it be great if my kids were young again and they could come back and they could be here during this time, because it's the real deal. Like, this school really is the real deal. I mean, the people that work here, they walk the walk, and I think I can't see any other place that I would rather spend my time in. I grow as a person, like, just by being here. I grow in my faith. I'm just surrounded by like-minded people every day, and when I think of not being here, like, I can't even think of it yet, because honestly, like, I love it that much. So, to wrap it up.
You do an amazing job.
Thank you.
Really do.
You are an incredible welcome to Santa Fe, and we're lucky to have you, and we're lucky to have you on today. So thanks for being here.
I'm lucky to be here. It's been my pleasure.
Mr. Gilbert, thank you as always.
Sure, glad to be here.
I feel like I didn't compliment you enough today, but it's a great sweater. It's a really great sweater.
I made note of it.
Yeah, good.
It's a great sweater.
Thanks.
It'll come back to you.
Fantastic. I love it. So make sure that's in the performance review.
Sure, it will be.
I appreciate that. Thank you both for being here talking about admissions. And thanks to those of you listening and watching. If this is your first time checking out one of our podcasts, we have a lot of others. The Eagle Perspective podcast. You can find us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on anywhere else podcasts are available. If you want the visual experience, check us out on YouTube. We look forward to seeing you again soon.